Hey y'all, hey. All right, I'm back. All right, so it is chicken processing time around here. This is the time of year where we butcher our chickens. I'm not going to show all that, but what I wanted to touch on today was the actual processing part of processing your chicken. You know, there are thousands of people here on YouTube, which is wonderful, who are actually taking control of where their food is coming from and processing and raising their own meat, which is great, right? But one thing that I noticed when we first got into raising and butchering our chickens was, you know, we noticed a lot of people were bagging their chickens in whole, which is okay, which is wonderful, right? They used the vacuum seal method, sealed up a whole chicken, and that was it. Well, that was not ideal for us. We do not have enough freezer space to have 25 to 50 chickens, whole chickens, in our freezer. So what we like to do is we like to package our chickens to where they're like meal ready, to where we won't have a freezer just full of whole huge chickens. And I kind of wanted to share that process with you all today. You know, this is just what we do here. This is what I do. You are more than able to do what you want to do. Now, we do keep some chickens whole, but what I do is I spatchcock them, cut the backs out, lay them flat, vacuum seal them so that way they'll lay flat in the freezer. The goal is to try to maximize as much space as we can in the freezer. So one thing that I did learn, because we do vacuum seal, I will pre-cut and pre-label each bag. This saves you a ton of time, because once you start bagging that chicken up, baby, you will have greasy, messy, bloody, dirty hands, and the bags will be greasy, and it's just a mess to try to write on them. So if you can, please try to label your bags before you stuff your bags. This is a lot of work, but again, you know, I like to look at it as a labor of love. You know, we go to the grocery store to get our foods because of the convenience, right? It comes already packaged, ready to go. So that's why I like to package our chicken that way, right? Like I said, it's okay if you want the whole chicken, but who's going to have a rotisserie chicken or a whole roasted chicken for dinner? No. You know, some of your recipes may call for thighs. Some may call for breasts. Hey, you might just want chicken wings for the night. So why not take that extra step to get your chicken processed that way? So what we do is we take that time, this labor of love, and we break down each of our chickens. And we will bag breasts with breasts, thighs with thighs, wings with wings, drumsticks with drumsticks, because it's more convenient for us. We are creating that same convenience that we get when we bought meat from the grocery store, right? You go to the grocery store, whichever grocery store you have, you can just go and get a whole pack of chicken breasts. Well, hey, I've created that same convenience here for us. I can just go to my freezer and get a pack of chicken breasts for the night. Or thighs, whatever the recipe calls for that I'm cooking. I really think that this works out best for us. Now look at all this chicken, y'all. This is after the first couple chickens. We do kind of have a routine down packed. We worked really well together. Me and Mr. Boots, we were up pretty late busting down these chickens, y'all. Now look at all that chicken. Oh, goodness gracious. We were able to produce some nice big chickens this year. Now, what you see Mr. Boots here doing, he's cleaning the carcasses. He's washing them. Washing meat, people. Listen. So, we are absolutely not throwing these carcasses out. We are actually going to boil these down. We saw this method on the Holler Homestead, and it blew my mind because for years I've made chicken broth from our carcasses and just threw them out afterwards. But there's so much meat left on them that I had no idea we were missing out on. So I'll show you that a little later in the video. I put the carcasses in our huge stock pot and in my big roaster, and we're letting them cook down slow. And then we're going to pick all of the meat off of it and can that meat for additional meals. We also had a few roosters that we had to deal with as well too. So if you know, like I know, rooster meat will take 5 business days to cook down because those muscle fibers are so tough. But what we do here is we grind it. We grind that into our ground chicken. I promise you, it is so different. It's definitely a game changer. Rooster meat almost practically tastes like ground beef. If you can see how red this meat is, oh my goodness. We don't eat too much beef here. So this is kind of like my beef substitute, but it's actually chicken. But like I said, it grinds down really good and it makes the best sausage, the best ground meat, the best whatever you want to make with it. But you are making your own ground meat. Again, this is a labor of love because this took me a long time to break down these roosters. Oh my goodness. Even just pulling the meat off the bones was a lot. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. But like I said, this is a labor of love. I literally took the time, put in the effort to debone my rooster meat and grind it. So now we have our own ground meat for additional meals, along with the meat chickens that we were able to break down, put them, in their individual packets, whether they're breast, thighs, wings, whatever. I'm also going to be able to package up my own ground meat. And don't forget about those chicken carcasses as well, too. I'll get to that in a minute. When you are homesteading, or even if you're not homesteading, if you're putting in that effort to raise these animals so that you will be able to produce your own meat, to sustain yourself that way, replace one thing from the grocery store, of course you want to get every benefit out of that, right? You don't want to just raise a chicken just to have chicken breast. No, that animal that you raise, that you put all that time and effort in, their sacrifice, shouldn't just be for breast, right? There's so much more to that animal. You took care of that animal. Now that animal is going to take care of you. I want you guys to notice how red this meat is. This is literally chicken. When I tell you it looks like ground beef and it tastes like ground beef, oh my goodness, definitely a game changer. And again, I'm going to package this up just like I packaged up the other chicken. I am putting these in meal ready freezer bags. So hey, if I have a recipe that requires 2 pounds of ground meat or 1 pound of ground meat, however much ground meat that you eat in your household, package that meat up the same way. Don't just throw all of the ground meat in one bag and then you have to defrost all of it at one time. That it makes no sense and it's just a waste. This is your way of creating your own convenience. Again, we're replacing something from the grocery store because the grocery store was convenient. Let's make our own things at home and make them convenient as well. I know this seems like a lot of work, but listen, this video was filmed over 2.5 days. Think about this. If you're raising your own chickens, your own goats, your own sheep, 2 to 3 days to have a year's worth of meat, a half a year's worth of meat, of good quality meat, good source because it came from you in your freezer, is definitely worth it. Now look at all of these chicken carcasses. They have cooked down. You're going to be amazed at how much meat I was able to pull. Watch all of this meat that I was able to pull off of. It's amazing. I was literally throwing away all of this meat once upon a time. This again was a labor of love, and shout out to Mr. Boots for jumping in and helping me to debone those chicken carcasses. But we got it done. And I was able to get 6 quarts canned just from the carcasses alone. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that amazing? And then I went a step further and I was able to can the broth that came from those carcasses. So just that processing day, that one processing day where we were able to process our meat birds, process our chickens, our roosters, and take 2 extra days to go that extra step to go ahead and package them out to where it would be more beneficial for us throughout the year, as the year goes on, and for our meals that we cook, and we're able to stretch it a lot further, right? Just this canned chicken alone is 6 extra meals. Like this is my version of fast food. This is what I think about when I'm like, hey, I need to cook dinner real quick. I don't have a lot of time. I don't feel like cooking a whole chicken, defrosting the chicken. Oh, you know what? I have some canned chicken ready to go. I'm just saying, for that extra step that we decided to take, that's just a little more convenience for us down the line. But I'm not going to keep talking y'all's ear off. But like I said, I hope this video encouraged you, inspired you, to get in there, get into it, get into producing your own food. It's a lot easier than you think. We've all been conditioned and fooled with the illusion of convenience in the grocery store, but most of that food in the store is not real food, as you all know, right? All right, well, I won't talk your ear off, but until next time, I will keep you guys posted.